If you're watching this video, I assume you work or own a solar power business in Australia, and you're probably wondering, who the hell am I? What is all this about? And if I spend the next few minutes watching this, can it actually help me make more money? Well, they're fair questions, and I kind of promise it's right for every solar business out there. Everyone's situation is different, but I can share real life results from other solar power businesses who actually work with this solar app. What am I talking about? What is all this about? Well, it's an app you can use on your mobile phone or your computer that's designed specifically for solar power installers to help them reduce stress and, most importantly, increase the profit of their solar power company. It maps the customer journey from lead all the way through to completed install, all done from one platform. And as far as I'm aware, there isn't another program out there that actually maps the customer journey from start to finish, built specifically for Australian solar power businesses. You see, many solar power companies out there don't have a lead problem, even though so many chase the leads. It's normally a system problem, is where they're losing money. Someone must call the lead. The amount of opportunities that are missed, solar companies bleed revenue at this stage. If the sales reps are actually visiting them at the house, they have to book an appointment, close the deal, check the deposit's been received, book in the on-site design if it hasn't already been done by the salesperson, process the Grid Connect application, check stock, order stock, complete the pre-start assessment and test and commissioning form, and get the customer to sign off the install to say that they're happy. And then you got final payments received, finance, reviews, referrals, and reports. Not to mention keeping the customer updated throughout the entire process. And when all those jobs are spread across different spreadsheets, people, calendars, emails, and memory, things will get missed. It's impossible to avoid that. And not because your staff are useless, it's because they're working from a system that could dramatically be improved. Processing new solar installs, there's a lot of moving parts. The amount of opportunities that get missed, who then buy from your competitors because an appointment setter or a salesperson hasn't followed up a lead, is rampant. The lead goes quiet, and people always eventually get solar. So if they're not going to buy from you, they just get it from someone else. Installers often don't get the information they need or get bogged down with the amount of paperwork they have to do. We all know how much red tape's in Australia. Delays happen, and all the time it's coming out of your profit, out of your bottom line. Not to mention the customers being informed throughout the entire process. That job often gets skipped. There's nothing better than customers receiving text messages automatically as the job progresses through the pipeline. So that's pretty much what this is about. So who am I? Well, I know all this because I used to run my own solar power company. I founded a company called Supreme Power back in 2018 that I ran for 8 years. Looking back now, I can see that the stress caused in running that business wasn't caused by, one massive problem. It was caused by a lot of small things slipping through the cracks. So for the last several years, and speaking to thousands of solar power business owners that I used to run Facebook ads for, I decided to configure my own solar power app that manages a customer journey from start to finish. Leads get allocated to the right person based on postcode or job type, whether it's a solar install or electrical work or an inverter needs replacing. If you have 2 or 3 or 4 more people working the same postcode, the leads can be distributed evenly or unevenly based on your preferences. Missed calls trigger a follow-up text message that goes to a potential customer. Follow-ups are tracked. Tasks are sent to the right admin person. Installers complete a multiple choice pre-start assessments and test and commissioning forms that can significantly cut down the workload for the electrician. And customers get updated automatically. For example, when the Grid Connect application's been approved, when stock is received, and the business owner gets a clear monthly report explaining exactly what is happening in their business, from the best lead sources to conversion ratios, how much is taken in deposits, how much is paid in commissions, even reviews and referrals. Each staff member gets a clear task to be done, and everyone is kept informed. So what it does is it ends up providing a really good customer experience, but most importantly, it dramatically increases the bottom line of how much money the shareholders keep, because it just makes the business so much more efficient and happier staff too. When a lot of solar companies start, and I did this as well, we start off by using spreadsheets, and the amount of solar companies that still do that bleeds so much money by not following up leads in time. And then the natural migration is for a solar power company to configure a CRM. But trying to get a tech guy to configure a CRM who doesn't work or doesn't understand the solar industry, it's exhausting. And it rarely gets done in a way that's really going to be beneficial for the business. You really need someone who understands the solar industry and can configure the CRM. It rarely gets done leaving the solar power business, dealing with systems that are inefficient and ultimately miss opportunities. I've seen solar power businesses try and do this for months on months, 6 months, even 12 months, and it still never gets done properly. Not to mention hiring new staff and trying to train them on this system. So I configured software that would actually solve all of these problems. The solar app is built around the way solar power businesses actually work. From the first inquiry through to sales, deposits, on-site designs, grid connects, pre-start assessments, test and commissioning, final payments, finance, reviews, referrals, and reports. It's also compatible with Pylon and Nearmaps, and integrates with Xero as well. So how hard is it to train the staff to use the solar app? Well, I can write the training in one sentence. When you get an email, do what's in the email, and that's it. Obviously, using the app itself takes a few times just to understand where the buttons are, but it's very, very, very simple as long as you can hold your staff accountable to updating the system. This is a training for sales, admin, and the electricians. It gives each team member a clear process to follow, but it won't fix bad business ethics, and it certainly won't make lazy staff actually care. But if you have a sales team who can commit to filling out multiple choice forms and hitting submit, then I'm confident the solar app could turn your business into a stress-free, streamlined, easy to operate, high efficiency solar business with a very healthy bottom line. A lot of our partners have found that the solar app has really helped them not just increase turnover, but just make the business so less stressful to actually operate, because the owners get a customized monthly report emailed to them, so they know exactly what's happening in their business, configured with all of the information that they need. So that's pretty much it. We don't work with everybody, even though we get a lot of applications. The solar business must have at least 5 staff or contractors working for it. We have worked with solar companies that have up to 60 staff, and there's no reason the solar app couldn't work with 150 or even 200 staff. We also only onboard 4 companies every single month to give them a personalized service and the confidence they need in order to process deals. We certainly don't need everyone who applies. And if you have a system at the moment and you're considering, well, how do I migrate? All we do is we just start putting leads through the solar app one at a time, so people can get used to the new system. And that's as easy as that. You just carry on using your own system in the background. And over a couple of weeks, we put more lead sources into the solar app until all of your leads are going in there. But we really only want to work with solar power businesses who are really determined to grow, and to hold their staff accountable. A business is only as good as the staff who run it. And you'd be surprised how many solar power, well, you might not be surprised, but there's a lot of solar power businesses out there who don't hold their staff accountable, and that's a recipe for disaster. And ultimately, it's costing you a lot of money. So if you are determined to increase turnover and make more profit with less mistakes, so you can produce happier customers, build up those reviews organically, so you have a base of raving fan customers who refer their friends and family, click the button below, answer a few quick questions, fill in your details, and we'll jump on a call. I'll give you a services demo so you can see what services is going to be best effective for you and see whether this makes sense for your business.